We are live. We are live on Substack. Hi. Hi, everyone. Hi, people. Okay, so I will turn off my notification so we are together. You and me, no distraction. Today, let's start with intuition. Let's talk about intuition. Okay? Take a seat. Hi, Josephine. Welcome. So, hi, Wax. Thank you so much for the attention. I love it. Hello, Valentine. Welcome. Okay, so I want to start this discussion with a little something about intuition. So, I'm an artist. I'm a writer, basically. And I'm a very intuitive person. And for some reason, because I don't question my intuition anymore, I can say something. Of course, you can say something. Hi. So, I'm a very intuitive person. And this morning, I had this insight, let's say that, about an article that I wrote 1 year ago, which is called Hold the Void. Okay. And one thing I remember about this article is that I was in a place in my life where I got rid of a lot of old things. And I started to see new things coming in. Like I had like vision for myself. And this is also where I think I wrote my first book called Feel More From Void to Vision. And well, this morning I had this thought of going back to that article and reading it to you today. So we will discover it together because I don't remember anything about this thing that I wrote. So first, let's why I still hear notification. I don't know why. I would just close the sound of my computer. And I'm very sorry about that. Actually, I'm not sorry, but I'm acknowledging it. When I say I'm sorry, that's what I mean. Okay, so here it is. I wrote this article in February last year. So almost 1 year ago. So let's jump right into it. Hi, Substack. Is anyone here? Just say hi. And I will probably learn something from what I wrote 1 year ago. So the article is called, oh, by the way, it's kind of a little gift because this article is for paid members only, but I'm reading it to you today with my magnificent, very sexy Quebec accent. Okay? So here we go. Hold the void. The crucial moment where your old reality dissolves. The new one hasn't yet formed, and your only job is to resist the urge to retreat. I feel like my intuition brought me here today for a very specific reason. Okay, so here we go. Hi, Amri. Welcome. Happy that you're here. So there's a point where you become so attuned to the movement of your entire human experience, your emotions, energy, and shifts, that you start recognizing structural patterns in the universe. I know that kind of sounds highly metaphysical, but hear me out. I became aware of the subtle space between recognizing a pattern and actually shifting it. there's a liminal space in between where you feel disoriented, almost lost. And this is what I call the void in my book, Feel More From Void to Vision. So I was talking about the book already. And already I can see that I've evolved a lot when it comes to writing in English. And that makes me very, very happy. Because when I read that, I'm like, it's not quite right. So there was some expansion here already. There is a moment right after you realize you're stuck in a loop, whether in your relationships, your job, or your emotional state, where you decide to do things differently. And then everything feels still, suspended, like nothing is happening. Is anyone like know that feeling here? Tell me something about it. Tell me what you feel about it, or if you recognize yourself in this. If this resonates, that's what I want to say. So this is where you start looking for proof that you're doing okay. This is where you feel lost, stuck, and empty. This is where you no longer have a sense of identity. And I remember the feeling last year where, again, I expanded so much really, really fast. And I wasn't even able to like comprehend what was happening in my experience at that moment. And that's where I felt a really big, like, it, I can describe this as time was lost and space was weird. And I remember I told one of my friend at that moment, I was like, do you experience this sometime? Like, you don't even remember what you look like because you're too caught into like introspection, and you're too caught in your inner world that you don't even know what you look like. You need to go to a mirror to just look at yourself and be like, oh, okay, that's the person. That's my body. I am alive. And she was like, oh my God, yes, it happens to me all the time. Because we are like both really, really extremely involved person into like expansion and philosophy and the opening of the mind and the heart and everything. So does this ever happen to you? Am I talking to people like me today? Are you here? Do you see me the same way that I see you? Tell me. And this is exactly where most people collapse back into their old pattern, okay? That moment where you don't know, hi, Sharky, hi. The moment where you just don't know who you are anymore. It's not like a panic place, okay? It's not like, oh, I'm completely lost and I'm shattered and I don't know where to hold myself anymore. It's not like that. It's just a brief moment of acknowledgement and awareness where you are like, oh gosh, I'm kind of floating right now between two identity, the old one and the one that I envisioned for myself as an artist. That void between action and response is where the mind panics sometimes. Okay, so you're there, you're fine, but you're kind of, oh shit, what should I do? So this is where you go back to your old identity. That void between action and response is where the mind panics, where doubt creeps in, where we reach for those proofs before reality reconfigure. The void is not emptiness, it is restructuring. Most people don't recognize it. You see silence as rejection. You see stillness as failure. You assume your movements and decisions were pointless, so you retract. And in that retraction, you reset the loop. You pull reality back to what it was instead of allowing it to become something new. The difference between those who shift and those who stay stuck is what they do inside the void. Do they wait? Do they chase? Do they demand instant confirmation? Or do they hold? Do they let reality adjust? Do they stay in the energy of already knowing it's unfolding exactly as it should? Holding the void is an art. It is where fate becomes action. It is where you stop looking for signs and start being the sign. Where you no longer seek proof because you know you are the proof. And this always brings a good ass rush of creativity. I prefer my life in my dream better than what I'm doing now. You know what I always say to my clients that says the same thing? Like, oh, my dreams are better, or daydreaming is a better place, or even imagination is a better place to be. Well, what the fuck are you doing? You can create everything in your reality. That's why your imagination brings you to those specific dreams. Hi, Marc. Welcome. What kind of artist are you? Thanks for the follow. Hi. Holding the void is an art. It is where faith becomes action. It is where you stop looking for signs and start being the signs, where you no longer seek proof because you know you are the proof. And this always brings a good ass rush of creativity. Okay? I repeat myself here, but this is very important. You are from Val d'Or. Interesting. I'm from a place called Imagination. Are you French? I can be. Actually, I'm a writer, so I can be anything or anyone that you want me to be. So, oui, je peux être française si tu veux. Française, québécoise. Don't mix both things. But the truth right now is that you move once, you collapse. You post once, you panic. You take a risk, then retract. You touch expansion, then run back to safety. And you call it reality when really it was just your inability to hold the unknown long enough for reality to catch up. Ooh, yes. My mouse is doing fun things. Okay. See, if your body was sick and started healing, you would say, well, I'm not fully healed yet, so this isn't good enough. Do you tell yourself those kind of things sometimes? Hi, Clem. Hi, Lumi. You don't say that if you break a bone. Is anyone here ever broke a bone or something? Sharky says, I'm the most positive person that I know. What positive mean? Tell me. I'm curious. And Max says, not me. So, hi. Both of you can meet. You are each other point of duality. Oh. Again, let's take money for another example. You struggle with money thinking about amounts, but people who generate money think about expansion. So the same applies to your expansion. Just because you don't see the full shift yet doesn't mean it isn't happening. It is. And that's really funny because I knew I had to read that article today for us, but especially for myself. Okay, so I'll bring you into the context of what today is all about for me. Okay, I've been crying all morning. It doesn't really like show on Substack, but we can see it on TikTok. I've been crying all morning, and we're here to just have a good time and chill together while I'm literally telling you stories and opening up discussion. So I was crying all morning. First, I had a very like intense discussion with my partner today about really like existential things and my purpose on this planet. And he knows me very well, of course. And I was I was talking about how much of a visionary that I am and what being a visionary is as a little content creator who doesn't impact much right now, you know? I was thinking about that, and while I was talking, I I kind of brought up my vision, okay? So, and I was talking about that vision and how much I'm already like working on it and how much like that vision is now at this moment scattered all around my projects and my life and my relationships, and I'm starting to see the big picture of it, and every time it makes me so emotional because I'm like, there was a lot of times that I thought what I was doing was useless. See, I spent, for example, I spent like 2-3 years on YouTube talking about like magic and the occult and witchcraft and everything related to those kind of practice. And for a moment, I thought, well, that was pretty useless, you know? Because I expanded so much. But now that that I'm starting to see the big picture of the universe that I'm creating and where I bring people in and how much power that I have to bring my imagination into force, into like the reality. Again, it makes me so emotional. So I tried to hold up my tears this morning as I was saying to my partner, if no one believed me, I will still do it. And now I understand why I had to read this article today, because I think that, gosh, I love life. Life is so fucking magical. Because I feel like this morning I just end up that period of time where I was in a liminal space, wondering and like catching up on what happened in my life and what will happen next. I really feel like this morning was just the moment where I settle into my new identity and where all my learnings and mentorships experiences just pile up like bricks. And then there's a foundation, a solid, fucking intense, magical foundation of what I'm building next. And I love that my intuition just brought me into that article, because when I wrote this like 1 year ago, I was in that liminal space of not knowing who I am. And I hold the void long enough to stop going backward and just accepted how much uncertainty is uncomfortable. And I think that it happens to a lot of us as artists. You evolve so much and you immerse yourself in so much experiences and emotion also, because everything around you is just you take it as a part of yourself, and everything becomes an inspiration, and all of the good things in the world and all of the bad things in the world, whatever you want to call them, but you immerse yourself in it, so you evolve so quickly. Santinella says, "You just made me so happy. I'm glad your journey is starting to give you calm." This is very interesting comment, because I don't feel calm at all. I tried for years to integrate what calm is, and that's not my happy place. Calm is not my happy place. I can definitely explore what calm is. I love it, but it's not my happy place. My happy place is in the extreme. There can be calm in the strongest of storm. Yes, but what I love about myself is that I am the storm. What the extreme chaos? Yes. I tried for so many years, like 17 years maybe, of therapy and whatever, to not be that person, to not be chaotic, to not be a storm. And that's really interesting, because my mother used to call me the black cloud of the family. And she was using that like as a little nickname, a little cute nickname. But it kind of hurt my feeling a lot of the time. But now I understand why. So, yeah. And then, again, I was crying this morning because of that intensity, that big realization of the big picture of my vision. And I was also very like emotional, because I started a new project, a new writing challenge on Substack with Catherine. And I was reading, we just started like yesterday. And I was reading every participant presentation. And I cried on a lot of those presentations, because I'm so glad to be surrounded by people again. Because as I said, I was kind of alone for the past year. I did my alone things, reflection, introspection. I was still posting. I was still there on TikTok and on Substack, but I was working also, of course, with tons of clients, but on one-on-one. But now we are like a group. And it's very fun to be able to take care of people again. Because that's my one thing that gives me so much energy, is to take care of people, but creatively, not like physically, like I will rock you to go to sleep. No, I love to take care of people. And when I say that, I mean, I love to see them for who they are and kind of creating little things for them so they can feel seen. That's my favorite thing to do. And one another thing that I was talking with my partner this morning is that the bane of my existence is working with people, working in team. That's my biggest challenge in life, surrounding myself with people. And not only surrounding myself with people, but surrounding myself with people without building walls around my heart to protect myself. People to me are so, for one part of me, okay? So I'm a fragmented artist, okay? So there's a part of me that feels really threatened by people in general. Friends are friendship is kind of weird. It's interesting. Let's say that. It's interesting to me, okay? Because I have beautiful relationship with clients. Extremely beautiful relationship with clients, and clients sometimes becomes friend. And I always had such great like relationship with partners. Okay, so life partners. I'm a very big like romantic and lover, and every man that I had in my life was the best. They are all my best friend to this day. So again, family, it's okay, I this is a long story, but I used to be in therapy for a long time until I realized that my parents are just human. But that's another story for another day. And yeah, but friendship, that's. But I'm ready more than ever to drop the walls of my heart and start collaborating with people. And that's another thing that made me cry this morning, because one of a person that I admire a lot, she just wrote a little thing to me on Substack actually. And I was very moved by it. And yeah, it brought me to a place where I'm ready to build friendship that will become like a working family to me, because that's my vision of friendship. Don't drop your walls, please. Just be ready to allow certain people in. See, that's not the way I see things. Here's my perspective on walls. If I'm experiencing something, it's because I need to learn from that thing. So the less walls that I have, the more learning that I go through. So I don't need walls and I don't need boundaries. I just need to put energy where I want things to grow, and make what I don't want to grow starve from my energy. And things are changing. Things are evolving. That's how I see it. So walls to me prevented me for a long time from living the life that I always wanted to live, which is being surrounded by a working family. That's the best way that I can describe it. I don't want friends. I don't want to chill with people on my couch and just be there and just watch TV or drink, or I don't. You will not see me in a party, okay? I don't want friends. I want people who I build shit with, who we are expanding together, and we are very like extreme and intense and like we're doing it. And yeah, that's what I truly want to do with my friends, working friends, family. What would you Oh, that's an interesting question. Thank you so much, by the way, for interacting with me. It's really, it warms my heart to have this discussion with someone. I love talking, you know. I love talking about myself. I could talk about myself all day. But I thank you again for connecting with me. So, what would be your favorite type of day? Okay, so my favorite type of day is literally today. Oh, my favorite type of day is today. So I woke up at 9 a.m. and at 9:01 I was writing already on Substack. And then I went into the community that we just built. So we are doing a writing challenge on Substack. If you don't know Substack, people, we are live on Substack right now. And it's a platform, a social media for writers and readers so they can meet. So we were doing like a 28 days challenge with people. And I went there and I saw them getting excited and taking on the first challenge of the day. And I was there with them, reading them. And now I'm live, sharing with a lot of vulnerability my vision as an artist, as a writer, as community builder. And then I will chill a little, do nothing, probably just go into my mind and live my life as a ghost in my universe, my inner imaginative universe. Then I will go pick up my daughter, and then tonight I will work again. I will work again until I go to the gym, and then I will take a walk at night, like probably 10 or 11 o'clock at night. I'll go outside for 45 minutes, just go around in the winter, magical weather. And then I will go to bed at midnight. So wake up, write, build things, connect with people, connect with my family, and then introspection, gym. Gym is a happy place for me. It's much needed for a chaotic person like me. If I don't go to the gym, I'm just a rat starving in a cage, and my mind is just possessed me. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you for the question. So, anyways, going back to the main subject of today, that article that's really interesting to me. Where were we? Just give me a second, please, so I can find the exact place when we left it. I love what I wrote here. Could I suggest 10 minutes of meditation, thoughtfulness, or quiet time in your mind in the morning? No, but thank you. Reality moves at the speed of your certainty, or more precisely, at the speed of your ability to be profoundly okay with uncertainty. Uncertainty is the only certainty. That's what I'm trying to say. What it feels like to be in the void. Being in the void feels like standing at the edge of a blank canvas. It is a weightless space, where the old no longer exists, but the new has yet to take form. It feels disorienting, uncomfortable, like walking through fog without a map, unsure of whether you are moving forward or standing still. There is a strange tension, an internal battle between the urge to retreat to that familiar place and the call to trust what cannot yet be seen. It is the silence before the answer, the stillness before the shift, the discomfort of observing without knowing. This is where overthinking usually peak. Yes. Your mind is desperately seeking evidence, demanding validation and whispering doubts, but the void is kind of testing you. If you can sit in the uncertainty without grasping for control, you will witness the moment where everything clicks into place. You already felt that at one point in your life or many times, and maybe you are finding yourself in the void right now. What we are looking to do is becoming aware of this landscape and becoming profoundly comfortable being in it. Yes. How to make the void a comfortable stage. And again, I wrote this thing like 1 year ago. And I will be very honest, I had difficult time being in that space for that long. And when I remember when I'm reading it again, but I thought at that moment that I would be in that space for like, I don't know, a month. Well, the truth is, I've been in that place for a year, and still this morning, I was not out of it. But after the conversation I had with my partner, that changed a lot. Hi, Jérôme. Welcome. Okay, so how to make the void? I'm very curious what I wrote here. How to make the void a comfortable stage. Stop resisting it. Yeah, that's still true. Instead of seeing it as an absence of results, recognize it as the recalibration phase. Okay. I was calling that a recalibration phase. Recalibration phase. That's a very big word for Elmo. Recalibration phase, where reality is rearranging to match your shift. I was still very, very caught into like manifestation stuff, and yeah, I see that now. Detach from the need for immediate proof. Let go of checking, waiting, or seeking validation. Instead, anchor yourself in trust. Connect with that part of you that deeply know that everything is going to be fine. You fucking know everything is going to be fine, always. Don't lie to yourself. See? That's exactly what I know that I was like bullshitting at that moment, because instead anchor yourself in trust. That means absolutely nothing. I was not aware. I was not bullshitting, okay, but I wasn't aware of where I was going, because anchor yourself in trust, that means nothing. I was not able at that moment to really explain it. So that's very interesting. Connect with that part of you that deeply know that everything is going to be fine. Yeah. Then cultivate internal stability by focusing on your own movement rather than external confirmation. That's still very, very true. Engage in things that are fun to you: walks, creative work, artistic project, or anything that keeps you connected to the present moment rather than the uncertainty of what's coming. Again and again, those uncertainties are just bullshit stories. And this is nice, because this is exactly what I did. Okay. So at that moment, I really didn't know that I would be in a liminal space for that long, but that's exactly what I did. So I kind of forget about it. It was, I don't want to say hard. It was intense at sometimes because you want to create as an artist and you want to put things out and you want to finally find the one thing and you want to understand your identity and you want to leverage on it, but you can't because you don't know you're building it. You're still like expanding so fast, so you are kind of mourning parts of yourself that you don't even had the time to meet. So everything goes so fast, but at the same time, everything is everything is slow. Time is very, very slow. And I have this, I don't know if that's the same thing for you, but I have this fascination for liminal spaces in art and in philosophy, metaphysics are also. I have this thing, it makes my heart do things. Where were we again? Engage in things that are fun to you. Walk. Okay, so that we've done it. Remind yourself that the void is not an obstacle. It's the necessary space between expansion and manifestation. The more you can relax into it and just don't give a fuck about it, yes, that's the thing. The faster it solidifies into something tangible. So, what's liminal? Okay, so I don't know what's the exact definition of it, but some we usually talk about liminal spaces when we talk about dreams, like memories you never had, or those weird spaces in that feels so nostalgic, but at the same time you feel disconnected from the world. I will look for the exact definition. Relating to a transitional or initial stage of a process, occupying a position at or on both sides of a boundary or threshold. Yes, it is kind of fascinating spaces, at least to me. So, if you're in between two places or experiences, especially if you're transitioning between them, you are in a liminal place. So the example that they give, it's when you're transitioning from a child to a teenager and a teenager to an adult. That's a liminal space. But what the topic of today is, how can you handle those transition? Because when we are artists, and of course you're here, so why not tell me what kind of artist are you? And we live a lot of those experiences where we don't know who we are anymore because we're done a project, we're done a very big like part of our lives, and we are just like ready to move on to the next. But where do we go? We don't know, so we're kind of lost a little. And I feel like that's why artists are lost all the time because we live that a lot, those kind of experiences. I will try to put a little more light in here because we don't see a lot on Substack. So if I will go to the conclusion of this article, but if you want to read it fully, so I explained the two-step process to holding the void and rewriting reality. So you can read that part. I will leave it in the article. Just DM me and I will send you the link to subscribe to my Substack so you can read it. And we will go straight into the conclusion of this article, which is called The Art of Becoming, Let the Void Shape You. The most interesting part of all of this is that you don't actually know who you'll become on the other side. That's the entire point of life. Again, be comfortable with that. Anyway, you know it's always better than you imagined. Stop lying to yourself thinking your next move will not be fucking spectacular. I love to interact with my old self. So, when I write on Substack, anything that I always write to me. Even if I say things like you na 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 na, no, I'm talking literally to myself in the mirror. Hi Nick, welcome. What kind of artist are you? So I'm that part of me 1 year ago literally was talking to the part of me today. See, stop trying to force an outcome, script your reinvention, or look for external inspiration to define your next version. This is fucking important. But if you're still trying to control it, you're still thinking the way you always have. And if you're thinking the way you always have, you will act the way you always have. That's not like rocket science, but it's very, very true. You can't step into a new identity with old reactions. You can't be an impactful artist, a powerful creator, or a wealthy leader if you're still refreshing your phone like a broke, desperate, validation-seeking version of yourself. You can't do that. I was still talking to myself. Let the void shape you again, whatever that means. And when you arrive on the other side, you'll recognize yourself by how unrecognizable oh my God, I'm getting emotional. Your old self has become. And now I know why my intuition brought me to reread that fucking article today. Wow. And when you arrive on the other side, like fucking today, oh my God, you'll recognize yourself by how unrecognizable your old self has become. Life is magic. I'm fucking magic. I'm fucking magic. This whole experience of today was fucking magic. I love working with my intuition so much. So, for the people that just got here, like, hi. I had a very big conversation with my partner this morning about me finally, not me, I kind of realized it while I was talking. I saw the big picture of my vision as an artist today, and I lived the most perfect day today. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. It's magical. And my intuition, I had this idea, I had this idea of rereading you that article that I wrote like 1 year ago. And I thought I thought that I wrote that shit like in June or something, but it was literally in February last year. And my intuition just told me, you need to read that today on live. You need to read that shit again. And yeah, that's what I needed today. It's a very perfect day. I'm so... If you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about when I say like work with your intuition, this is a tool that you don't use enough. You need to you need to work with me. You need to work with me right now. Whoever the fuck you are, if you are an artist or not, you need to use your intuition. And your intuition will always provide you with information or experiences that will bring you closer and closer to what you want. And I would say will bring you closer and closer to know that you know where the fuck you're going. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate everyone that has interacted with me. Again, TikTok wins. So I don't even know if there's someone here on Substack, but as I said to my partner, it doesn't matter to me if people believe in what I'm doing or do or will do. I will do it anyway, even if I'm completely alone. I am told that my intuition is questionable. I am made to question it. Okay. If you want to. Maybe what's questionable is doubts and excuses and stories that you tell yourself. Other than that, you are completely free to question your intuition. It's still your intuition. Thank you so much. We will see each other next week. It was the last stream of the week. We are Friday, so we will see each other next Tuesday. Same time, 1 p.m. EST. I love you. Have a great weekend. Go create, my loves. Thank you so much, Substack, for being here. I would profoundly appreciate if you would interact with me if you're here. Just say hi. We're building relationship. So thank you. And we will see each other next week. Bye bye.